Let's continue to talk about some of these second-year players, Jay. And you brought up this name the other day, and you kind of poo-pooed on this player. It didn't sound like you were in.
When you look at the expected outcomes of his playmakers, one, their running backs are trash. So they're going to be catching the ball a lot.
Their running backs are not. Who's running back?
Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard is not a good runner.
I almost put Spears on it. No, they have a very good backfield. This is a good backfield.
They have a great pass-catching backfield. Yeah, it's phenomenal. They got Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears, which is great for Will Levis.
And maybe I am a little out over my skis, but there is something brewing in Tennessee in this second-year running back, Tyjae Spears, that I just want pieces of this player. Jay led rookie running backs in targets last season. They added in Tony Pollard, who, if you watched him play for Dallas last year, shouldn't put a lot of fear in you. This was the player that everybody left the Senior Bowl when we were there buzzing about. Tyjae Spears. People didn't think he would get the requisite capital. He got that. He's in an offense that spent money on their offensive line to improve it. They brought in Bill Callahan from the Cincinnati Bengals. I am in on Tyjae Spears, this second-year running back. I want him for production, and he's the type of player that I believe, Jay, if he starts out hot, he will be a desirable asset in the fantasy streets. Give me some Tyjae Spears. I am buying him for a second-year breakout, and I'll check where he currently is ranked right now. But I am very much in on Tyjae Spears for 2024.
Yeah, like RB20 on KTC right now, so the price is pretty reasonable, but still drafting him or trading for him as a low-end RB2.
I got him at 26. Dynasty Daddy ADP. They compiled from real drafts. RB26 behind Najee, Monty, Javonte Williams, Zamir White. Come on, man.
Okay.
Come on, man. Hell no.
It's interesting. It's interesting, right? But I think, so the question for me to you is, do you believe he can be the lead back in terms of touches in Tennessee? Because I don't think he would be, but it could be very close. Like, to credit, not to like say one or the other definitively, but I think you take both those running backs. They're both pretty talented. They both have great pass catching skill sets, and neither one probably should have more than 200 carries. I think you could easily give Tony Pollard 160 carries, and then you give Tyjae Spears 100. The question is are they going to run the ball that much, right? They came from an offense where all they did was throw the ball. They're going to be down in games a lot. The offensive line is improved, but probably still pretty bad. And then the last question is, do you believe in Will Levis, right? Because if Will Levis isn't good, it's not going to be great for the running backs unless they're catching a ton of passes, which they might. But I think that you're looking at a split here. And depending on the cost, I think Tyjae could be a value. I don't know if he.
I don't care about a split because every offense outside of 6 runs a split backfield. Like I'm not worried.
But you
about
you
a
know
split.
what I mean when I say a split, right? It's not a high end split. It's not a high. The touchdown potential is low. I think we can say that. It's probably not going to be too high.
I think we're over analyzing running back. Turn around, get ball. Like, are you going to get the ball or not? And if you've got Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears, let's just say they're going to have 24 running back opportunities a game for Tennessee. It's going to be split between those two, whether that's rush attempts, passing, receiving work. I'm in on that. It is consolidated. It's a 2-back system. It's an offense that they brought in another wide receiver, which will help clear the way for some of the running lanes. They've invested in the offensive line. J.C. Latham there from Alabama. Like, I'm not worried about any of that shit, man. I'm not worried about any of that.
Question for you then. Do you think Tyjae Spears has more or less targets in 2024? Because he had 70 last year. So this is where you talk about opportunity, and this is where I have to bring this up, right? He had 100 carries and 70 targets. Can he have more than 170 opportunities this season? Yes, he can.
Yes.
But I think you could be looking at a very similar output in 2024. So he had 100 carries for 453 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did catch 52 balls, but now we have Tony Pollard there, who's a great pass catcher himself. 70 targets, 385 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. So only 3 touchdowns, less than or a little over 800 total yards, and 170 opportunities with 52 receptions.
Pretty good rookie season.
Pretty good. But the price is gone up, right? So that's the only reason why I say, like, if you don't believe he can have more than 200 touches and an uptick in
receptions, Jay is a rookie.
I know.
And that's with Derrick
great.
Henry.
who don't catch passes. Now
Well,
bring in Tony
it
Pollard,
doesn't matter
who
if he
can catch
catches them. He's
52
on the
passes
field.
of his own.
He's on the
right?
field. The point is he's on the field. That's the point.
But Tyjae was on the field a lot too, wasn't he?
Okay, are you buying Spears year 2? Yay or nay?
Not at top 20. No, I would not. I would say he's going to do the same thing he did last year.
Okay, let me ask you this. Would you rather? Let's go. Would you rather Tyjae Spears edition? Tyjae Spears or Javonte Williams?
Probably
Spears.
Tyjae. Just barely.
Spears or Zamir White?
I'm actually kind of in on Zamir White. I think
Spears or Alvin Kamara at 28.
I'll take Kamara.
Spears or Mixon? Spears or Trey Benson?
I'm taking Spears. Trey Benson.
Well, Trey Benson's at RB 18, so just letting you know.
Man, I'm not in on. But so Tyjae Spears 51% of snaps last year.
Okay.
Which is pretty good, right? 73% of his snaps came out of 11 personnel, so passing downs, right? He was on the field a lot more than I think you realize. And we talked about this because it was late in games and in 2-minute drills, Tyjae Spears is on the field and Derrick Henry's not, right? Which is crazy, but he played quite a bit. So I think that's where you talk about, can he have more than 170 opportunities again this season?
I'm not worried about Tony Pollard, man. I think people
I'm not saying you should be worried, but if you take a backfield and you split it 50-50 and they both get 170 apiece, that's pretty realistic, right?
All right.
That's pretty realistic.